Starting with the 14.2 release, the ASP.NET MVC Grid view provides new features such as binding to data via Lambda expressions, search panel, and fixed group headers. Let's take a look at the new features. Here I have an ASP.NET MVC application with the index view that contains a call for the Grid View Partial Action method. In the home controller, the Grid View Partial method returns a Grid View Partial view and specifies its model. The partial view contains the Grid View extension code. Let's take a look at this application in a browser. Here you can see a full-featured Grid View extension. The Grid View columns can be bound to data model fields using the Lambda expressions. To do this, we should define the row type of the displayed data. In the controller code, you can see that the grid is bound to a list of customers retrieved from a database. In my model code, I can find the declaration of the customer class whose instances are displayed within a grid. I return to the grid view declaration code and define the customer class as a row type. First, let's define the key field. It can be defined via the Lambda expression with the help of IntelliSense, and we can remove the previous declaration. We can also define the columns in the same manner. In this case, we avoid using so-called magic strings. The strongly typed notation allows us to avoid possible mistakes. When I move the mouse to any of the expressions, the Visual Studio tooltip displays the type of the current column data. In the browser, we can see the same grid view as we saw before. The next great feature is the search panel. To enable it, I set the settings search panel.visible property to true. And let's see the result. Now, in the grid view, the search panel appears. It allows us to search grid records by typing a search request. The search panel allows us to search by any grid column, or by multiple columns at the same time. In the search panel, you can see the Clear button that allows us to clear the search panel content. Before demonstrating the next grid view feature, I enable grouping and vertical scrolling with displaying of all of the grid records. Let's take a look at the grid view. Now, the grid displays all the rows and we can scroll it to view the records. When I group the grid by any of the columns and scroll the grid, the group headers scroll with the expanded groups and become invisible. The new grid view feature allows us to persist group headers visible when scrolling the grid. To enable this feature, I set the settings behavior.allow fixed groups property to true. Now I can scroll the grouped grid and always see the current group header. The group header is scrolled only with the last row of its group. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and thank you for choosing DevExpress.